Okay, so of course we do need to do some toxic negativity, some lying explicitly for the sake of making money, because that's obviously what we do here, and we've done for years. I mean, pretty sure you got the memo for that whenever you started. So because of that, we have to look at this very funny clip from evil toxic gamer Sloot Bag.
Oh yes,
because this was really funny.
Yeah. So obviously I've decided to meme things up, but it's the raid review. We've already done the raid review, so all the segments been completely ruined.
Completely ruined.
But so good, but also we have this. Mute that.
Wee. Wow.
There we go. PTR, by the way.
Yeah, so look, a few bugs have made it in.
A few, yeah. Yeah. There's also one, the Dark Horse Guild experience, where the last platform didn't count as floor, so no ground AoEs could work. So I hope they didn't have any shamans for healing there. But
yeah.
Sloot's having the time of his life.
Shit happens. I think this is what we call the week 1 beta test.
Yep.
I would expect changes, hotfixes, etc. To be happening soon enough. But yes, that was quite funny.
Yeah.
The next thing then, the Tazavesh Mega Dungeon, which I wish...
That's not the next thing!
It's not the next thing?
I was going to say, when we're talking about the raid, I did want to talk about this for a while. Because it is big. Maybe not for too long, but at least for a little bit.
Yes, let's do this bit. This is... You filled me in this, and because I don't really look. I don't follow the scene, so it was quite wild.
So this is the big dumb. It's Big Dumb Gaming Guild or Big Dumb Guild Gaming, whatever. BDGG. They made this. You join a raid, give them the Edge of Night dagger. You get whoever created this kidney, and if you loot it and trade, firstborn, easy. Obviously a little bit mental. It is a direct piss take of methods. Which is it's all in good humor. I'll give them a pass, but it is a case where people are being, because I mean, what split runs are, or if you don't know what split runs are, they are basically, how do I explain this really really succinctly? I guess it's you bring people in who are unsaved, who have the slots filled with higher item level gear, just for the specific purposes of if they get gear, they will trade it. If they get gear, they will trade it to someone who needs it in the Mythic Guild for progress. So they've been doing this by themselves largely before, where I was, organize their own raid to do it. But now they've went, why don't we just have other people do it with us and for us?
Yeah.
So the general point is, you go into, I believe this is for heroic. It is, yeah, because you need to have an eye level 233 dagger to join. But you join Method. I was about to say a different guild's name. You join Method for a raid as, say, a rogue with 233 daggers, or at least 1 233 dagger. Then they'll give you 500k.
Yep.
And it's Sylvanas dagger. If you kill Sylvanas in that group, you'll get ahead of the curve. Obviously, being carried by Mythic Raiders basically. Although if you have a 233 dagger, you're probably good, but. You just get 1.5 mil for getting the Edge of Night and going, here you go. The 233 daggers from normal Sylvanas. What did I say? Yeah, normal. But yeah.
The sheer amount of gold that these guilds go through is just it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, so it's...
it's sort of like Dakor gold capped.
Oh yeah, well, to be fair,
high level 230 stuff. And you kind of think wow, gold cap, that's so much money. Then you look at just the quantities of gold that are, and it's not even there's other reasons why gold is used in the race to world first, but this is just a particularly interesting one. And the arms race between the guilds as well, because now it's not getting to the stage, because I think the skill of the players is going to be the most important thing generally, but just the importance of the logistics and support system behind all of those players it's interesting.
Yeah, it's funny that all of this loot stuff has the way loot is currently designed in World of Warcraft and how you're restricted in trading it has resulted in this kind of nut stuff where they're outsourcing players to try and come in and help them funnel gear.
Yeah.
Which is really, really weird. And I will say I have a general distaste for it. And that's almost pure, for 2 reasons. Number one is the fact that it's gold. because if these daggers are couple percentage, then that could be the difference between a kill.
Suppose so.
If players are similar enough skill level, then you can literally say gold has tilted that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is in the case of they're both neck and neck on the boss, but it's still, it's not literally pay to win, but there's a possibility it could have been pay to win, and you can buy WoW tokens with real money. You can get, I mean, just spending gold for stuff feels not in the spirit of things, because it's the equivalent of, I guess it is a little bit more like F1, where the cars are big expensive things, and you can actually win with good R&D and a good driver.
But even with so many other sports, like, okay, so I was in rowing back in the day. I was in rowing back in the day, and the Coleraine Rowing Club, we did not have all of the funds. Trinity College Dublin, suffice to say, they had better gear and better training facilities than us. But it is that sort of thing. You can get a competitive advantage via infrastructure and support, and
it's not in the spirit of competition where it doesn't need to be, in a sense, because there's already enough going on with the fact that top end guilds can afford to bring players to a specific place, feed them, train them, etc. All that stuff's there. So there's the infrastructure stuff on top, but this feels like really direct and really a fault of the game's design, which feels a little bit kind of iffy, which is kind of one problem. It's not a massive problem. It's just a little kind of like, it stops me from going, this is really cool. I go, this is really cool, but
I guess, yeah, same. Yeah. It's just interesting to me. How much debt do these guilds go into? Because I remember, what was that number that came out from a previous tier for one guild?
I'm pretty sure it was 3 digits, millions, or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money that, I think that was Method at the time.
Right.
Were in debt to that much because they bought everything. Was that 8.2, I think, or 8.1, something like that?
Nightstalker here says 100 to 200 million gold debt.
Yeah, that's completely and utterly completely insane. It's it's a fun part of the MMO, but it kind of feels a little bit against the spirit of
200 to 300 million. Someone's saying as well.
Wild.
Much gold.
It feels insane to me.
How many tokens is that?
Oh, that's a lot. I mean, it's 200. They're 250. I use a marker 250k in Europe at the minute. So for European guild, that's four is a million. So that's 400 million. So in terms of that's not 400 million tokens. That's
1,000.
Yeah, it's 400 tokens for 100 mil.
Yeah.
It's 400 tokens for 100 mil.
If you're going to use that 250, that's 17 grand of WoW token.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
awesome.
I mean, that's the thing. And then obviously there's the allegations that it might not all be bought with WoW token.
Yes, the RMT allegations.
Yeah, so I don't know how true any of those are, and I don't want to make a comment on it because I have no idea.
I don't know shit.
I mean, if I use my gut instinct, I would say there's black markets everywhere, but I have no idea. There's no point throwing allegations at people, but
I guess to me it's especially fascinating to me because, one of the games that I love looking at, apparently Scripe admitted it, according to Griffin H. I don't know, but it's EVE Online. Because you're looking at EVE where you have these alliances of corporations where there's full corps that are just fully logistics, fully manufacturing, fully supply chain, it's just so cool. And WoW's not that type of game, and it shouldn't become that type of game, but I will admit that I do just take some joy in seeing some of the smartest people in the scene, the most dedicated people at the scene. You present them with a novel problem and an interesting twisty-turny sort of set of loot rules, and then you just see how much they can get out of that, and I guess it's just interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the stuff is really has a place in an MMO, but it just, I guess it's the RMT stuff and the WoW token poisons it. Whereas if this was a guild having control of all of the resources on the server, and then players can interact with that purely, that would be really sick. But then the real world stuff gets a little bit messy into it, and it becomes, you step out of the MMO and now you're in esports industry stuff.
I guess
and you're well, that feels a bit jarring. But the other problem is, and I think it's actually it's explained quite well by a comment I saw in chat saying that Limit were doing the normal runs, and I was actually watching one before we watched Fast 5. I was watching Max do some Limit. I think they were in leather at that time. He was on his mug, but they were going through normals. But someone said the Limit lackeys which are the pug helpers, the people who are in just they've got fully mythic gear. They're in to help out Limit, or maybe they're just in for the fun of it, whatever reason.
Just being a part of it.
Yeah, they're being a part of this stuff, and it's like there's a kind of sense of unpaid exploitative labor that you could potentially bring up. Where it's it's like Limit lackeys, as I said, where it's just it's people
it's like the groupies.
People trying to get a taste of Max's sweat or joining the group, like, but that
infiltrate,
feels,
find a stash of gamer gummies.
Yeah, so that feels a bit off to me versus going, it's people having fun, engaging with these guilds. It's a fun community event. It's just, I suppose a community event where it's to serve a purpose of one guild, it feels a bit weird. But it's a case where the community now has these events going on, has all this stuff, whereas,
it's like people opt into that. Yeah. If it's, I don't really see it as exploitative labor problem or something like that. It's just like people opt in because they want to, they want to be like, oh, hey, it's in the same way, somebody's like in a fan club for like Formula One. It's like, they're helping the F1 team, and the team is a organization with sponsors making profit or whatever. But for them, it's just like they love the sport of F1. They want to be involved. And I guess, in this way, it's like that. It's like the official fan club, just that this time they can actually be near the players that they look up to and respect. Maybe they've been watching Max's videos and, using that to improve their own gameplay and learn how to raid lead and stuff. And then they're like, oh, cool, I can actually help Max's guild in the next race. I'm all good for that stuff. I think it's cool.
Yeah, the only other thing to say on this front is it maybe time for Blizzard to look at loot trading and how it kind of works, because it's so arbitrary that it's forcing this stuff. But that's a pretty big conversation. I don't know if we have the time or the
will
or the will to go through it. Like,
Mr. GM tweeted that he wanted Master Loot back. The most I can even be bothered to put in that conversation was retweeting him. Did I retweet him? Maybe I just said, I don't know what I did, but something to signal boosted. Yeah. Where it's like, sure, I would like that, but at the same rate, I think that is an argument that we lost a long time ago.
Yeah, I think we have other battles to win before we get back to that one.